Hey y'all, so I wanted to do a bee video. I have had a lot of questions in regards to the bees in the comments of previous videos, as well as some Instagram DMs and some comments. So I thought I would just go ahead and do a formal video on them. Initially, when I decided to do bees, I wasn't sure that I would actually incorporate them into this YouTube channel. I kind of wanted to see how it went and what my thoughts were on the bees. And let me just tell you, I have so enjoyed them. I find myself, and Tommy does as well. Tommy was a little bit skeptical because sometimes I just have some crazy ideas, and he just is nice enough to go along with them most of the time, but he was a little bit skeptical. And then we find out ourselves out here in the evenings having a cocktail and just watching the bees. So I'll give a quick overview on the type of bees that I purchased. Did I purchase a package? Did I purchase a nuke? What kind of hive I have, how I am feeding them, what type of bees that I purchased. Did I already say that? Anyways, there's a lot of details and there's a lot of information that goes into beekeeping, and I will still be learning about bees for years and years to come, but they are really awesome. I really have loved them for the 2 weeks that we've had them. Again, we've only had them 2 weeks. I haven't really done much filming of the bees with me working with the bees because honestly, I've only installed the package and done one inspection at this point. You kind of have to give them some time to do their thing, and you don't want to be in the hive too much. So I have some videos, but I don't have a ton of close-up videos or anything like that. Obviously, I'm still a newbie when it comes to beekeeping, and I haven't really mastered the filming plus working with the bees yet. And honestly, you're not in the hive very much. I can film all I want from the outside of the hive and the entrance of the hive, but you're really just not supposed to be in there often. So I will give you the details on what I'm doing, and so far everything is looking great. The bees are building out comb. I'll give you the information on did I go wax foundation? Did I go plastic foundation? Did I go foundationless? All of the details, at least that I've done in this urban setting. And please refrain from any negative comments if you are, master beekeepers. They seem to be doing well, and I will learn as I go. Everybody learns as they go, but so far so good. And actually they have been bringing in a ton of pollen the last couple of days. It's been a little overcast and cloudy here for about the last week, honestly, but they're still doing really well. They are sucking down some one-to-one sugar water. I'll go into detail with that in just a little bit, but they are doing really well, and we are very excited. We have a kind of a native wildflower area in our neighborhood, and it's actually probably 4 or 5 streets down. And I know they're in our front yard quite a bit. They were all over the alliums when they were blooming. The alliums are pretty much done blooming at this point. They are on the salvia quite a bit, but they are coming in with tons of pollen. And I really think that's maybe from the wildflower area in our neighborhood, which is really, really awesome. So let me just flip around my camera. I'll show you the hive. I'll give you all the details, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I have the hive in the raised bed area back here. So this entrance, you can see them all going in and out there, but this entrance, it faces south. So all the research I did said face your entrance south to southeast. So we nailed that. This gets all morning sun and direct overhead afternoon sun for quite some time until about 4 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. And then around that time, which I think should be good for the really hot summers, the snowball viburnum shields their hive and gives it some shade from that hot afternoon sun. So I also have the bird bath that used to actually be in the front. It's set over there in that corner. That is their water source. I keep it filled up and I keep it pretty fresh. And as you can see here, so let me come over here and this is where we usually sit in the afternoon, which is really awesome. Tommy usually sits right here and I sit right over there. They could care less about me. These bees are Italian bees, and I purchased Italian bees because they are really pretty docile, and I think they're supposed to be great for beginning beekeepers. So far I've only gotten one sting, and honestly that was my fault. I was wearing my baseball caps back here as I usually do, and one flew up under my cap and kind of freaked out and couldn't get out. So it stung me on the forehead, but it was all good. It swelled just a little bit, but nothing crazy. So again, Italian bees. I also purchased a package of bees. I could have purchased a nuke, but by the time I decided that I wanted bees, all of the local nukes were bought out. So I thought, what the heck, I will try a package of bees. So I ordered a package of bees. They came through the postal service. I went and picked them up. I will say that the postal service wasn't super thrilled to have a package of bees come. I don't think there are very many package of bees coming through the mail around this area. But nonetheless, I picked up the package, and for those of you that may not know, a nuke and a package are different. So a package of bees is just that. It's just bees in a package. They don't have any drawn out comb. There's some sugar water in there, and there's a queen in a small cage that is separated from the rest of the bees. A nuke is like a mini colony that someone has started to establish. The queen has been released. There are frames of comb built out. There are eggs already laid. There are basically they're just already an established mini colony that needs to expand. Ordering a package of bees, it takes longer. They have to totally, they don't have to totally draw out frame. In this instance, they did, because on the frames that are in this brood box right here, so this is called a brood box. This is where they lay their eggs, they raise the drones and the worker bees, and potentially some queens should they choose to do that. But I decided to go foundationless on the frames. So the frames are what you typically see people pull out of these boxes right here. So they have the comb on them, they have bees all over them, and you can get wax frame inserts that are already, it already looks like honeycomb, but they're made out of wax. And you can get plastic foundations as well that are the shape of honeycomb, but it's plastic, and then the bees build on top of that. However, I decided I wanted them to do all of the work, so I went foundationless. I put a little bit of beeswax on the starter strip that is on the frame, and I'll try to insert some pictures so that if you're interested, or maybe you don't know, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I put some beeswax on the starter strips on the frames, and they have started to build out comb really, really nicely. Next time I'm in the hive, I will get some images of that fresh comb. It's really, honestly, pretty amazing. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer here. So, what else? Let's see here. I went foundationless on the frames. I obviously have a Flow hive. So there's a lot of, Flow is the brand. There is a lot of back and forth on a Flow hive. For me, in an urban setting with not a ton of space, I decided to go with a Flow hive. So a Flow hive it's just from what I'm working with here in this video, it's just literally just a standard hive. What makes Flow different is the honey super that is put on top of this box right here. So it's like a pre-plastic, and I'll take you here in a minute and I'll show you that, but it's a pre-plastic comb basically, and it is some new technology that you can literally turn a key and it will break that beeswax that they have closed those cells with, and the honey will drain out of the bottom, out of a tube, and straight into your jar. So you don't have to take the frames out, you don't have to spin the honey down, you don't have to use the crush method, you don't have to kill a bunch of bees to harvest honey. So that's just the reality of harvesting honey. Some bees get killed. I mean, when you are inspecting your hive, some bees get smashed. It's just that there's thousands of bees in there, and there's no way to not accidentally squish or bump some of the bees. So because I didn't want all of the honey extraction equipment and all of that, I decided to try the Flow Hive with the Flow Honey Super. Let me actually take you in the garage apartment here and I'll show you what that Honey Super looks like. Okay, so this is a look at what the Honey Super looks like. So you can see here that there are these plastic frames, and you can see like some of these are spot on and you can see some of these are more closed than others. I need to put the key in here and turn these. And what happens when you turn the key is like this cell will slide up, and so these two pieces right below my thumbnail will match up. And then what the bees will do is they'll come in here and they'll close that tiny gap that's in there. And then once you're ready to harvest honey, then you turn that key and these kind of slide down and then open up. So see here, these are pretty straight right here. And then these are a little catty. So that's what happens when you turn the key, is you turn the key and it creates that little separation right there. And then the honey runs down. And then once it runs down, it comes out of here. So this comes out right here. And then there's a little tube that inserts straight into there and the honey will pour straight out. So these are a little bit sticky because I haven't used them yet. I probably won't even use this super this year. I have another brood box that will go on top of the box that's already out there, and they will do the exact same thing in that next box. And then probably next year I will be able to use these. So obviously I would need to make sure all of these are closed before I insert this back in here. Otherwise, the bees will just produce honey and the honey will just drop straight into the bottom, into the other box, and make a huge mess, which you don't want. But it is some really pretty cool technology, honestly, and I'm excited to see how it works. There is really a lot of varying opinions, but I would also, on these, so bees don't like anything plastic. Like as I mentioned in there, the frames, you can get plastic inserts. You have to rub beeswax all over anything plastic or the bees will tend not to even mess with it. So these will get a fresh coat of beeswax. It will be melted down and I will just kind of paint it on. I will probably spray some sugar water on there as well. And that gets the bees really interested in it. And then they tend to start to use these Flow Supers from my understanding. Okay, so I just went and got the key. So let me show you just kind of how this works. It's a little bit easier to see. And if you want more information, I would go on to Flow's website. This is not a sponsored post. This is just what I decided to go with after my own research, given the urban setting that we were in, etc. So what would happen is you would pull this off right here. This would come off as well. So it would pull this out here. It's just a little plastic cap. And then this goes directly into there. And the honey will come out of this. So it's much cleaner than, you know, traditional beekeeping. But again, for my circumstances, this is what I decided to go with. So you would want this open, and then this up here is totally freed up. And you can see there's a little bar here. So what you would do is to release the honey, you would go in and you literally just turn that. And then you go back a little bit further and you turn it a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And a little bit more, and a little bit more, until you have gotten it all the way back. And they suggest doing it in increments. But you can see here how this one is higher than this one. So this tells you that these cells are open. And also this is clear, so you can see when the honeybees start to fill these little openings with honey. So you can kind of get an idea of when you need to harvest. And then there are side panels here, which I think is really cool, and I'm looking forward to this. And there's a side panel so that you can see. Let me block that reflection a little bit, but there's side panels where you can see your bees working in there. So that's pretty cool. Let me actually get over here a little bit closer And then let's see if you can see when I open this one. Okay, so I have it all the way open there. You can see that the grooves are not matching up here. And then I'll go back in and I will start to close it. And it's pretty hard to tell from this angle, but now you can tell that they are much more lined up, and these little gaps here in the middle, the bees will fill those, and then they will start storing their honey. All right, and here is a better example of these closing. So they're open right now. This is more of a straight on view, so I think you'll be able to see them move. So they're moving in increments. I'm not doing it all in one time, so I'm going from front to back. So anyways, that is pretty much the gist of it. As I said, I will insert a couple of the videos that I do have that I've gotten working with the bees. It's not great video, but it is some video. So you'll be able to see in the video too, that especially the second one that I post in this video, that they are super docile. Like, I'm working with them without a veil, without any bee suit or anything like that. And that's just how calm they are. They crawl on me. I can put my hand at the front of the hive. They can crawl over my hand. They'll fly right back off. So I have been super impressed. I got my bees from Mountain Sweet Honey, and I would 100% recommend them based on the one package that I've purchased. I'm no professional beekeeper, and that's not a sponsored post either, but there are some local people here that had told me that they had purchased some packages from them, and they were very, very happy. So I did the same. Okay, and as I'm sitting here filming this slow motion video, I thought I would just recap because I probably missed something in there. Again, a package of bees, Italian bees. I ordered them from Mountain Sweet Honey. I'm using a flow hive. I went foundationless on the frames that are in the brood box, and then I am feeding them 1-to-1 sugar water until they get 80% ish, or they stop taking the sugar water of the frames built out with comb. And so I'm using a top feeder that is underneath the roof that prevents robbing, or helps deter robbing. Robbing is just literally other honeybees from other colonies coming in and robbing what this hive has. So I actually am getting ready to probably check their sugar water, so I will film that portion and you can see what the top feeder that I'm using looks like. I do have a different feeder that is coming in for, like, if we're out of town or something like that, because the feeder that I'm using right now doesn't hold a lot of fluid, 2 cups max, and they go through that pretty quickly. So let me open up the top and I'll show you what that looks like, and that will be the gist of this video. Thanks, y'all. And this is what the feeder looks like. It keeps the bees from drowning. It has a little donut shaped hole in the bottom, and this cover has a hole in it that I can plug if I'm not feeding, but this prevents the bees from drowning in the sugar water. And then they just lap it up, come from inside the hive, and nothing else can get to this sugar water, so it prevents robbing. But I think I've covered everything at this point.
The queen's in there now, so they're all going in.
But anyways, that is the intro bee video for the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.